Hey folks, Brian here with the Coastal Patrol Cub with a quick update. Finally, after much time and pain, I have finally finished the new bomb mount for the Cub. So I will link in the description the video showing the old setup. New one is so much stronger and better. So I'm just going to go over a little bit of what I did. It is still magnetic, and just as a refresher, or if you haven't seen the original video, this is still not for flight. This is ground use only, static display only. It's just for display right now. I wouldn't dare fly with anything like this unless I had it permanently attached to the airplane, and that's not something I'm going to do until such point as when I get my airplane recovered. If you hear some noise in the background, I got my little hangar mate here with me today, and she is having much fun in her bouncer. Yes, you are. But anyway, just as a refresher, the old one was magnetic, but it was very weak. Like, I got very strong magnets, but the thing is, the longeron tubes are surprisingly, I mean, there's not a lot of beef to them, all things considered, right? So how well a magnet holds to something is a factor of how strong the magnet is, how far away the magnet is to what it's grabbing onto, and obviously there's a little bit in between there with the fabric, but then also you know, how much metal it has to grab onto. So that was part of the problem. The other part of the problem was I made the previous one on the assumption that it was a straight line right there, and I'll show here in a second that there actually is something mounted on the inside of the airplane that creates a little bit of a bulge at the attachment point, and so I wasn't making good contact with the old one all the way along. So that all kind of limited the strength. So it made it to where it could support the weight of the bomb. The bomb is actually only about 6 pounds. It's mostly 3D printed. It's pretty lightweight. However, the old mount, you know, maybe had like 8 pounds of holding force, right? So it would hold it if I got it just right. But if it got bumped or strong gust of wind or something, you know, that whole thing was going to come down. New one, I went with significantly stronger magnets. I broke, so those 3 green parts up top are each individual magnet mounts. That I made it in that way so that I could make sure I was making good contact with all 3 of them along the longeron. And then the other thing I did, and this was my intent for the original one, I just didn't have time when I built it, is the actual mount part on the below the 3 green parts and above the bomb is now actually metal. It's steel plate, so it's significantly stronger there as well. So I'll just go up here and show. So the way it all works here, I've got a little hook here for, this would have been the arming wire, and then on the front and back I've got these hooks. These are pins that pop out, and then those hooks will swivel. It's kind of hard to do while I'm holding the phone, so I'm not gonna but I'll pause it here real quick and then I will show you how it's done. Okay, so I'm back now. So you can see here we've got these hooks here, and they rotate, and you see it's got this tab, and so basically once they're rotated up into position, put the pin through that hole, and there's a little, you know, safety pin that goes on the other side to hold this in as well. And so, you know, this goes up, pin goes in, and now the bomb is held in place. These hooks are all 3D printed as well, good durable plastic, PETG, so they're pretty strong. All right, so then, you know, this thing, metal, I've got heat set inserts into the plastic, so these bolts are all into metal inserts into this plastic. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can set my phone here somewhere. I'm going to take the bomb and use the bomb as a prop so I can use both hands. We'll see how this turns out. Oh, probably terrible, but, you know. Yeah, that's great. All right. So I'm going to, yeah, let's see if I can pull this down with one hand. All right. Yeah, so I can kind of get this loose. All right. So it's not terribly, you know, it's not like it's super duper, you gotta be a bodybuilder to pull it off or anything. But you can see here, there's 6 magnets. These are all rare earth magnets, N52, you know, kind of the strongest you can get, and then some padding there to help protect the fabric, so that these And then I'll show you here. You can see this is what I was talking about before, where there's something mounted here on the inside, and so this is not completely straight. So on my old mount, didn't account for that bump, and it made it impossible for this straight mount to mount to the not straight longeron tube there, and so it really caused an issue. But same, these magnets are all held into the 3D printed plastic parts with metal inserts, so they're not going anywhere. And this whole thing is, yeah, way more sturdy. So I am super duper happy with this.